So recently I've been talking about companies that I've been trying to take a step back from. Um, Google is one that I've talked about recently, and I've talked about how I've found an alternative to Google Maps, and I've already taken a step back away from places like Facebook. It's really difficult when, as I said before, you have big corporations that own everything. So there was a time when Instagram was a separate company, Google was a separate company, WhatsApp was a separate company, and all these people own each other now. So if you want to get rid of, like Google, you have to pretty much get rid of everything. There's one other company that I recently read or watched a video about, and based on my basic ethics, the way I think needs to go, and that is Spotify. So this won't affect me because I'm here in the UK, but there's been a lot of fuss going over in the US because Spotify has been allowing recruitment adverts for ICE on its platform, and a lot of people have been very upset about that. I didn't realise that Spotify also contributed quite a lot of money to Trump's inauguration, and given the way things are going out there, that's not a company I want to align with. And you might say, well, it doesn't affect you, you're not in that country. But I think if you have an ethics principle, then you need to stick to it in whatever way that needs to be stuck to, and particularly if you can. So Spotify doesn't own anything else. If you drop Spotify, you don't lose everything, but it is a little bit complicated. So I've been using Spotify for, I have no idea now, quite a long time. And I only use it for podcasts. I'm a massive podcast fan. I listen to loads of podcasts every week. It's something that, particularly when I'm doing my cleaning jobs, I like to put a run of podcasts on in the background. So there's quite a lot of work to do to, right, well, how am I going to find the podcasts that I want in other places and get a platform that has the usability of Spotify? And so I did some research, and there are a lot of podcast platforms around, and a lot of people who make podcasts will publish them to a number of platforms. So you've got your likes of your Amazon and Apple and things like that. Well, I don't really want to have anything to do with Amazon. I have absolutely nothing to do with Apple. And I want a free site. I don't mind putting up with ads for the free site for things like this. Spotify's advertising has been getting quite relentless lately though, and it's getting really annoying. So I don't mind leaving them as such. So I had a look around and I found one called Pocket Casts, and I'll put the name with the logo up there so you can find it if you want to try it out yourself. And I went in and I've found all the podcasts that I normally listen to, and I've added them to my library. And the only sort of not a problem. So on Spotify, I have several like playlists. So there's the one where the new episodes come in and they get dumped in there by Spotify. There's one that is my episodes, and I would drag down the episodes from the new episodes list that I wanted to listen to, and that would be my daily listening. And then I have another one where I would build a playlist that was long enough for a road trip. So if I was going down to my parents', I need to make sure that I have a podcast list that is at least 5.5 hours long, so that I can just let it run and I don't have to fiddle around when I'm on the road, and it'll just keep playing until I get to the other end. And I can't do that on Pocket Casts. However, on those lists that I have made, I have podcasts that I've never got around to listening to because I now have too many lists, too much of a backlog. This one just has a new episodes list, so all the new episodes will appear, and you can narrow it down to, I think it's 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, things like that. So you can narrow down how many podcasts you're listening to. So I've started to use it. It's great. It's working fine. It's a simpler version of Spotify, but it does the same job. So I'm going to keep testing it for about a week, and if I'm happy with it and I've made sure that I've found everything on Spotify that I would use, then I'm going to delete my Spotify account, because I haven't got time for companies like that. And I know that a lot of people are happy to overlook things like that for the convenience of a product, but that's how these big companies get big, stay big, and things like that. So that's another company. That will be a company I have actually completely got rid of. Struggling to get rid of Google, and I don't think I can ever do that unless I scrap my YouTube account and scrap all my Gmail accounts, my Google Mail accounts, which I suppose would be possible. But then I'm on a smartphone that uses Android. There you go again. And Google Play is where you get your apps and your updates. So it's very difficult to get rid of. I would never have anything by Apple. And there aren't that many other good and reliable smartphone companies out there that I would want to use. I'm a big fan of Samsung phones. I've always had Samsung Galaxy phones, and they're Android. So it's a tricky one. But so that's my new company being scrapped. Going to give it a week. Make sure that I've uploaded all the things that I follow from Spotify, and that it's working okay. And then bye bye Spotify. And I won't be sad to see it go. Not if its attitude is money first, people later. So today is Thursday, whatever it is, I think it's the 23rd of October, and I am off to the medical unit that I volunteer at for medical trials. I was last there, I want to say May, but it may have been earlier than that, when I got accepted to do a trial but put on reserve, and then they didn't need me. So this time, provided I pass the screening, I get it. This is quite a long one because there's lots of screenings. Very short actual trial period, but lots and lots of there's a few screenings beforehand and a lot of screenings afterwards. So it's a really long, drawn out process. So you get your compensation at the end of the trial when you've completed the whole thing. So if I get this one, I won't get it until next May, but it's quite a lot of money. But I'll talk about that if I get it. So this morning I am heading off to do the first screening, which will determine whether or not I fit the criteria and whether I'm okay. It's annoying when you don't get them, but equally you get a full body MOT when you go to these things. So if I don't get it, at least I'll know that I'm okay, if nothing else. The only annoying thing is that I've had to stop taking all my supplements because you have to get a baseline and you can't take them at all until the end of the trial. So I've had to stop taking the magnesium, vitamin C, the B6, and what was the other one? Vitamin D. Yeah. I stopped taking it a week ago. No changes yet. Wouldn't have thought there would be. So we'll see what happens. I don't know whether the fact that I'm feeling a lot better is to do with the supplements, partly to do with the supplements, or that my hormones have changed and it's nothing to do with supplements. Anyway, so I'm heading off, and if you're seeing this, then I got the trial, because I'm not going to post this up unless I do, because there's no point talking about it. Some people get very upset that I do these trials, so I'm not going to bother posting it up unless I get it. Catch you later. It is Monday morning. The weather's just been horrible. It's been so cold. It's like 2 degrees at night, and if it gets to 11 during the day, you're lucky. It's just so dark. The clocks changed yesterday, so we now have lighter mornings, but it's suddenly getting dark an hour earlier at night, which means it's like dark at like 5 o'clock now, which is horrible. it's particularly bad because I like to work in the evenings, but when it's dark, I kind of switch off. So I'm losing quite a lot of time. So I'm trying to get into working after dark with overhead lights on rather than working by natural light, which is what I prefer to do. So it's been a bit of a bit weird. And it's raining again. It's just rain, rain, rain. I wish I could just have one really nice blue sky Sunday or sunny day on one of my days off so I can go for a hike. I haven't been out for ages because the weather's just been so atrocious. So it's Monday morning. I'm about to get sorted and get ready to go out and do my Monday morning clean. And quite a busy week this week. Tomorrow I have another clean, which is the private one. And then Wednesday I have 2 cleans. So yeah, it's going to be sort of busy, slightly different routine, which is kind of nice. And I'm not expecting anything particularly exciting to happen this week. It's now the 27th of October. It's nearly the end of October. We're nearly in November. And we are barreling towards the end of the year. Oh my goodness. Don't even know what to say about that, really. Anyway, so I'm going to get organised and then just get on with the week. I nipped into Sainsbury on the way out this morning. I saw a woman walking around in flip-flops. It's 9 degrees and raining and she's walking around in flip-flops. Feet must have been frozen. Anyway, so I spent 3 pence in Sainsbury because I shopped on Nectar Points. I bought a 2 kilogram bag of white potatoes. Those are £1.32. They've gone down. They were £1.35, but I think they also went up to £1.39. So they've gone down to £1.32. I got a loose broccoli, which was £1.09. I bought 8 small bananas, which were £1. A garlic bulb, which was 22p, and some metal scourers. I don't use them in the kitchen. I use them in my crafting stuff, but if I can get them for free, it means that I'm not eating into my profits. They were £1.40. So the whole thing came to £5.03, and I'd pay 3 pence on my Barclay card, which is a 0% interest until August 2027. So that 3p doesn't have to be paid off for like a year and a half or something. That works for me. I'm running a bit early. I've got about 10 minutes to kill before I need to go. So I'm just going to have a look through podcasts. So I'm just waiting in the rain. It's tipping it down. I bought a brolly. I found my brolly. I found my umbrella, which is really good. And my shoulder's been getting better as well. I've had quite a few good nights this last week. Last night wasn't so good. It kind of kicked off at about, 3:30, and I had to get the hot water bottle onto it. But apart from that, I did a lot of heavy lifting yesterday, so that's probably aggravated it. I'm pretty sure I've trapped a nerve or injured something to do with this shoulder, which I've had injuries in before, and I think that's what's causing the pins and needles rather than menopause hormones, although this is a pretty standard symptom of menopause, but I think it's a bit of a coincidence that it's gone at the same time as the shoulder's gone. Anyway, so I'm going to pop on a podcast before I drive to my cleaning job, and I'll catch up with you later. I almost skipped out on going to Morrison's this evening. It's dark at 5. It's not nice. Anyway, so the couple that I do the shopping for, there were a couple of things that they wanted me to get in Morrison's for them because they can't get them in Sainsbury. So I found a reason to go at least. And I'm pleased I did really, because there was some good stuff in there. So these are the things that I bought for them. Crisps and Lurpak. Gets that out the way. And they'll settle up with me for that on Wednesday. What else? Right, so these are the things that I got for me. We have mushrooms. I haven't had mushrooms in ages. So this is quite a big tub of mushrooms. These were £1.50 down to 45p. Also got some green beans. These are the Savour ones. They were 77p down to 24p. That's pretty good. And there was a bag of red onions, chopped. These were £2 down to 50p. These I'm going to shove straight into the freezer because it's great to just grab a handful and put them into whatever I'm cooking. So that will last ages. A very bent tin of Heinz beans. These were £1.40 down to 35p. These look like the barbecue beans. I don't know exactly. Yes, it is. It's barbecue beans. Very dented tin, but I like the occasional tin of beans. And speaking of beans, my bean salad was in. There was one there. It was £2.49 down to 63p. So I've had that. That will jazz up lunches for a little bit. And 4 mini pork pies. The little mini Mowbray ones. These were £2.50. £2.50 for 4 little pork pies down to 63p. So that's the lot. So in total today, I spent £11.05. The crisps all came to £4.25. The butter came to, I think that's £3.90. Can't see anything without the glasses on now. So I'll knock it off, and up there I will put what I would have spent if I bought all of this at full price and what I've saved by buying it on yellow stickers for the things that I've just shown you. And that is the end of Monday. I'm glad it's the end of Monday. I almost didn't go out this evening. I'm glad I did, particularly for the veg, because it just makes it easier for me to bulk up lunches properly. And that's the lot. That's the end of Monday. Tomorrow is not a day of working at home for me. I've got a cleaning job to do, so I'll take you along for the joy of a cleaning job, because I can film this one because it's an empty house. Nobody in it. They've all gone. So give you a little bit of that tomorrow. Joy. Right, so it's Tuesday morning. This would normally be a no cleaning day for me, getting on with other stuff, but today we have this private job. It's a couple of minutes drive from me, but I've got Hoover, loads of cleaning products, etc, in the back of my car. So this is the best way to get it there. Just makes life much easier. So we're going to head down. Hopefully I have the right set of keys, as you can never tell. And we'll go and get on with this little job. Hopefully it's just going to be a few hours. There was a decorator in last week, just doing general painting, walls and stuff to tidy it up. And I've been given the impression that the house isn't too bad. So hopefully it's just a nice, relatively simple, standard clean, top to bottom. Drag the Hoover a few places up. Right, let's get in there and have a look. So I'm in the house. It's a typical little Victorian terrace, really. Take you on a quick tour so you can see what an empty house looks like and what I've got to do. So this is the front room. I like that fireplace, although it's obviously decorative now. No carpets downstairs at all. So front room, not too bad. I hate the fact it's got no carpets. It's so echoey. Through the hallway, tiny, steep staircase, which all these houses seem to have. And then, weirdly, they've turned the back room into a massive kitchen. But they could have done so much better with it, I guess. I guess you can put your dining room table in here. You could actually eat at a table. I can't do that at home. But it's, wants me to clean this, but honestly, everything needs re-looking at. Not great. And then the back room is like almost like a utility room. You could put your washing machine or whatever in there. I don't know where you're going to put a freezer. No space for a freezer. I guess you've got plenty of room in here to put one of those. There's a little yard out the back. So that's that. Here's a larder. I'd love to have a larder like this. This is amazing. Goes right down under the stairs. So that's pretty cool. Let's go up the stairs. So it's all been painted, so the walls are nice and white. Although the windows are crap, excuse my language. Look, you can see all the condensation in them when they're not working properly. So I've opened everything up. It doesn't smell too bad in here though, but this is like the other house I did for this guy, and it's just horrible. Anyway, so this is a bedroom. This would be the smaller bedroom. You could get a double bed in this recess here. Not too bad. It's got the original fireplace, which is quite cute, although obviously blocked up. And then here is the bathroom, which is gross. He's talked about replacing this, and I said, do you want me to clean it, or are you just going to replace it, because it's horrible. The state of that bath, I don't know if that's going to come off. The taps are utterly disgusting and have to be changed, and I've told him that, because I can do that. Vaguely useful little cupboard there, which goes over the stairs. The sink's not too bad, but it all needs regrouting. Bath's not too, toilet's not too bad. That's that. And then you've got to watch your little stairs here. They all look like this. And this is the main bedroom, which is a good size for a double. Again, has its original fireplace, but not in use. And has a view. So that's it. So that's what we've got to clean. Oh, and this one has a little fairly pointless wardrobe space. You're going to get a lot in there, are you? It's tiny. Anyway, that's not too bad. He hasn't decided if he's going to rent or sell this house. But it turns out he's a landlord with multiple properties. I didn't realise how many he had. He wouldn't tell me exactly, he just said he had lots. It's not an awful lot to do here, you know. So I'm going to get cracking. Going to put some podcasts on and get started. here I am, just leaving. He said to me, it's a nice easy clean, just, you know, the usual stuff. And his idea of the usual stuff isn't like mine. That took me 6 hours, that clean. Some of that house was so disgusting. They hadn't done anything before they moved out. The kitchen units are disgusting. All the doors need replacing. They're just horrible. And the insides were, ugh. I've cleaned them because he doesn't want to replace them. He doesn't want to spend the money. And I said to him, you've got to replace the doors. They're absolutely gross. And I said, really, you need to replace the whole thing, the doors, the cockases, the lot. And he really didn't want to have to replace the units. So I've ended up cleaning them. But I didn't touch the doors because they're just not worth the effort. The sinks need replacing. They're horrible. I don't think he'll replace those either. Upstairs, the bath needs replacing. He is going to replace the bath and the bath taps because they're hideous. The sink and the toilet aren't too bad, so I've cleaned those. And, you know, it's just the condition that people will leave stuff in just amazes me. I think he's not a very good landlord. He says he never puts the rents up, and I think he probably gets not very good tenants. He's had problems with other tenants who have trashed his houses. At least two. One of them was one I've cleaned for him. Another one is a house around here somewhere. I think I know which house it is. Had all the downstairs windows smashed in. And he's like, you know, he's not strict. So my landlord, or obviously we have a lettings agency, 2 inspections a year, one every 6 months. And you can't stop them from coming in. They tell you when they're coming, and they'll be there whether you're there or not, because they have all the master keys. And when you leave, when you move out, you have to clean the entire place top to bottom, or they just take it out of your deposit. Now, they used to still had to do that, but then they would have a couple of cleaners come in and they would just go around and just do another like quick spruce up before the new tenant moved in. They don't do that anymore. Those 2 cleaners that used to come round haven't been in at least several years. So it's down to tenants now. So I would imagine a lot of tenants are losing their money because some of those places are really disgusting. I mean, why you wouldn't just keep cleaning your home as you lived in it? If those people were living in that house as it was when I was cleaning it, I mean, who wants to live like that? It's just disgusting. Anyway, so the good thing about these cleans is that I get paid by the hour and I keep going till it's done. So that's 6 hours. That's quite a lot of money because I'm using the new rates. There were other things that I could have done had I known what I needed to bring. He told me it was just a quick, easy clean, no problem. But there were other things that I needed to do that I can't do because I didn't have the right stuff because he didn't tell me about it. So I can imagine I will probably end up going back after he's gone in and replaced stuff. Why he didn't just get stuff replaced and then get me into clean, because now it's going to need redoing again because you're going to have workmen in there replacing a bath, replacing units, and it's going to need doing again. So maybe I'll get double the money. I shouldn't complain, really, should I? Anyway, 6 hours. Oh my goodness, I'm knackered. So that cleaning job on Tuesday did nothing for my shoulder, and I had 2 more cleaning jobs the day after, which was yesterday, which was Wednesday, and that didn't help. So I had a rough night last night because it hurt. Anyway, so I got the medicines research gig, and I've just been in for a second screening, which means that provided nothing happens and I have to withdraw or whatever, I can start planning my finances for next year, because the compensation on this is pretty good. It's quite a long study though, so I won't get that compensation until next May. It's like a 7-month study, but it's a very, very, very short actual treatment period for this one. It's only 4 days, and then there's just loads of screenings before and after, so I won't actually go in for the actual trial until next January, but it's well worth it. So I can start planning for next year's money. So although I won't get the money this year, it means that I can start planning for what's going to happen next year, which is really helpful, because provided everything goes to plan, that means that's a certain amount of money that I can now say, okay, I've now covered for that. And with the way the cleaning jobs have changed, if that carries on as it is, and other bits and pieces, next year could be a better year financially. So I'm going to head home now and get on. Time I get home, it'll be time for lunch. I'm having a banana because I haven't had anything to eat today yet. And then yeah, just get on with the rest of my day. So I'm going to end this week's post here because I'm running behind on getting posts out, and that cleaning job, I included quite a lot of it. There wasn't much else going on, so I thought I'd just extend some of that on there because it's something that was a big part of my week. And that's it. So that's the end of this one. Next time I see you will be in November. November's coming. Frightening.